Hello, Africa, and hello, Africans around the world. I'm Alban, computer scientist, an AI engineer, and a preacher. And this is your 5-minute AI weekly update. And this week, I want us to think about one question. Will Africa simply use artificial intelligence? Or will Africa own part of the intelligence economy? Because some of the biggest AI stories that happened this week point directly to this question. And the big story number one is big tech is racing into Africa. First, the global technology giants are intensifying their investment in Africa. We're talking about companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and others are expanding connectivity, cloud infrastructure, data centers, and AI related services across the continent. While Google says it has already invested $1 billion Africa investment commitment, okay, already fulfilled. Well, while major undersea cable and connectivity projects from Google and Meta are expanding the digital backbone around the continent. Well, Microsoft has also set an ambitious target to bring connectivity to tens of millions of Africans. Well, now we know that investment is good. We need the infrastructure. We need cloud capacity. We need internet access. But here is my concern. Who owns the infrastructure? Who owns the data? And where does the value created from African data eventually go? Well, we cannot replace one form of dependency with digital dependence. Africa should welcome investment, yes, but we need to negotiate from a position of knowledge. Our governments, our universities, entrepreneurs, our engineers, we must make sure that Africans are not simply the users and data suppliers of the AI revolution. We must also become builders and owners. And this brings me to our second story. Well, Meta releases a smaller open AI model. Okay, so the open AI new model, it's a lightweight model, and it was released this week. It's called Muse Glimmer. So one of the interesting things about it is that Meta says the model can perform smaller agentic AI tasks using just a single graphics card. Yes, just a single graphics card. Well, why should Africa care about this? Why should we care about that? Well, just imagine, because the future of African AI cannot depend entirely on enormous billion-dollar data centers. That is why we care. Just imagine you have a complex facility that creates a very complex product. It takes millions of dollars to set up a company or a facility that produces an item. But because you don't have the same money to invest in another space, what you do is you make the production unit smaller. That means cheaper. And then you make it accessible in an area where, if there wasn't as much big investment, would never be a reality. So this is why AI is coming to us. It means on your simple phone, on your simple laptop that doesn't have the crazy speed, you can still create AI and agentic models. So if capable models become smaller and cheaper to run, this means that an engineer in Nairobi, in Lagos, in Kampala, in Kigali, in Accra, in Johannesburg, in Kumba, they all can potentially build specialized AI systems without needing the infrastructure of the Silicon Valley. Imagine local AI for agriculture, local language education, medical support systems, financial services, business automations, church administration, being a church preacher and pastor myself, government services. So when it comes to financial services, it even gets more interesting. Well, maybe tomorrow the next circle will run on artificial intelligence. It learns where the income is coming from for all these small scale farmers, predicts the market depending on what produce they're producing, and then it suggests or recommends a specific portion of their investments and savings. And then it can also recommend places where they can invest their small circle money to see that the return on their savings is bigger. And this is being made possible because the tools that are required to build something like this are closer to you, cheaper to you, and accessible on almost every simple system that operates in the country. So these systems could increasingly run closer to where we actually live today. And for African developers, smaller and open models may become one of our biggest opportunities. But don't only ask, which AI app should I use? We need to start asking, what can I build with these AI models? Do not only watch the AI revolution. Apply, build, experiment. My acronym, ABE. So, Africa, in the past, we have always been consumers of too many technological revolutions. With AI, it's different. We have an opportunity to do something very different. As I often say, technology is a tool. The question is, whose hands are building with it? Whose problems is it solving? And whose future it creates? I'm Alban. This is the AI Weekly Africa. I'll see you next week. And until then, do not just use AI, build with it. God richly bless Africa. Amen.